Hello, hello, beautiful people of the internet, and welcome to another episode of Yael Explains It All. And if you're here watching, I want to thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you every night and coming here and talking about these things that are of great importance to humanity. You know, you're one person out of an audience of literally 5 people. 5 people who watch my videos, 5 people and a dog. Because I realized this morning that Nana, my dog, for some reason, really loves to watch these. So yeah, audience of 5 and a dog. Which is why, if you don't know me from outside of YouTube, you're probably gonna think I'm crazy. Because tonight, I wanted to talk to you about success. And if you hear me talk about this, and then you see like the view count of this video, or like how many subscribers I have, you're probably going to think this woman has lost it. Let's take her to the nut house. This one is gone. But no, for those of you who know me from outside of YouTube, you know that I have kind of like a track record of being successful at almost anything that I set my mind to. And that includes like professionally, of course, but also like we were talking the other day about how I scored this incredible apartment. And yeah, after like months and months of finding nothing, I finally found like the apartment of my dreams. And it's all tied to the same principle. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So, hi, come along. I'm going to share with you my keys to success. Right, so like I said, a few days ago, I was telling you about how I scored this apartment. If you're interested in that video, you can check it out over here. I'm gonna put the link over here. But yeah, I had been looking for an apartment like a maniac for months, and I couldn't find anything. And I became an obsessive of refreshing Zillow. And I would look at Zillow like 1,500 times a day. Literally, and for months I couldn't find anything, and I was at my wit's end and also at my wallet's end because I was staying at an Airbnb that was charging me insane amounts for my stay while I would look for an apartment. And eventually, it dropped. It dropped like it came from the sky, the perfect apartment. I had a laundry list of requirements for the apartment, and this one checked every single item on the list. It was like it was concocted in the heaven by God just for me. And it isn't the first time that this type of thing happens. I realize that I've had this type of luck fall in my lap a bunch of times, and that is what I attribute the success to. But it's not just dumb, blind luck. It's more than that. It's more than that. It's about consistency. It's about showing up with your full attention on the thing that you want. It requires you to focus every fiber of your being into that thing that you desire. And then through consistency, through showing up over and over and over and over and over again, it finally, there's no other option than to succeed. And it is that simple. It's about showing up. Now, I'm going to explain how I arrived at this conclusion, and I'm going to tell you how I frame it in my mind, because I think it's cool, and also because I think it's a very useful tool to have. So, I didn't used to be successful. I used to be a lackluster young person in search for meaning and like a direction in life. And I wasn't very good at it. And I wasn't very good at what I did. I was working like the job that I had at the time that I remember, I was a copywriter for HBO. I was working, making, the ads that go in between or they used to go, I don't even know, it just used to go in between movies and TV that said like, up next, a man falling in love with a woman. The Bridges of Madison. You know what I mean? I used to write those. That was my job. And I wasn't necessarily very good at it, and I didn't really put much energy or effort into it. I was chasing other things. So, I was floating along with my circle, my social circle. Like, we were all equally lackluster in our lives. We got together and we gathered to, I don't know, do things on the weekends like normal people do, friends, family, whatever. But suddenly, once I started being successful at different things, I started to realize there was a pattern that broke. All of a sudden, your success introduces a disturbance in the field. All of your relationships, all of your circles of friends and family and acquaintances, whatever, the social fabric has a pattern. And when you suddenly become more successful than the people in it, you become a disruptive element. You kind of lift your head over the current, and then it's a free-for-all. So what you start to see is you still consider your friends your friends. You still consider them your peers. Like, why not? They're your friends. The fact that you're now out-earning them all, or like having more status or whatever, doesn't necessarily mean you don't think of them as your friends anymore. Not at all. Like, you're not materialistic. You don't care if, but they do. That's the thing. They do. And even if you continue to treat everybody the exact same way, the way they view you shifts completely. And you start seeing them act weird around you, which is very disheartening. So some of them will actually treat you much better. They will treat you with deference. They will treat you with admiration. And they'll have like really, they will really, 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 really want to hang out with you. Like, somehow they feel like success rubs off by proximity, and somehow, if they hang out with you more, then it'll raise them over the current too. And this doesn't feel good at all. Like, you might be thinking like, oh my God, I wish that happened to me. How good must that feel when everybody around you is kind of, sucking up to you? But it feels terrible because it makes you feel alien. It makes you feel like you're no longer a peer. You're no longer part of the group. They're pushing you out. By treating you this way, they're telling you you no longer belong here. You're alien. You're something above or below, but definitely not equal to us. So it doesn't feel as good as it may sound. And then on the other hand, you have people who kind of look at you with suspicion. Like, why is this person successful and not me? Is she better than me? She's not better than me, is she? Right? They see you and they see your success and they feel like it reflects poorly on them. Like, they're not doing enough. Like, they're not doing their part or something. And this creates resentment, and it's very easy and see-through and very ugly. So success and estrangement go hand in hand. And this is why when people ask in interviews successful women how they reach their success, most of them will say, it's luck. Oh my God, I was so lucky. I was discovered. Oh my God, I had a lucky break. It's actually done, it's charitable. They're trying to spare everybody's feelings so nobody feels bad. So nobody feels like they're not measuring up. It's not that she's more skilled. It's not that she's more hardworking. It's not that she's this or that or more beautiful, more intelligent. No, she simply got lucky. It could happen to anyone. It could happen to me even. It's just luck, Lady Luck just knocked on her door instead of mine. And that is, it's as much as it is soothing, this explanation, this luck explanation soothes people's feelings, but it also blocks them. It is also blocking the path in front of them, because by concealing the path in front of them, you are pulling the ladder, so to speak. You're like crossing and then pulling the ladder, so the people behind you cannot follow suit. And on the other hand, I have noticed that the inner justification of successful people is the opposite. They may say it's luck, but internally, they feel like it's all like they did it all by themselves. They pull themselves by the bootstraps. They are so skilled, so smart, so this, so that. And so, because obviously they want to take credit for their success, naturally. And this is an arena where a lot of fights end up developing, Can you believe what she said? She said she's successful because she is so smart. Come on. Seriously? That was pure luck. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And I saw it firsthand. Like I've been in these situations so many times where people really, really, really want you to say, yes, I got where I am out of luck and nothing else. And then on the other hand, you convincing yourself that it is you, and then realizing later that maybe it wasn't you, So what was the conclusion that I got at the end of this? It's not just luck, and it's not just you being so skilled and you managed to float when everybody else sank, It's not. The one thing that allows you to succeed is consistency. It's showing up over and over and over again. Being extremely persistent to the point where people are tired of you. Your religion becomes showing up. And by doing this, it's nearly impossible to miss. Like one day, you're going to have your lucky break. Lady Luck is going to knock on your door and you can be there or not be there. You know what I mean? And if you're there, then you'll be able to open the door and all of these blessings and all of this bounty will be shared with you. But if you're not there to open the door, it doesn't matter how many times Lady Luck comes by, you're never going to reap it. You're never going to reap the benefits of luck. So you got to be there is what I'm trying to say. You got to be there. That way you can get it. And not only do you have to be there, you cannot be there. Like being there is not just showing up absentmindedly. It's not just clocking in and clocking out and going through the motions. By showing up, what I mean is with your full attention. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. That is the trick. You have to be there, show up, and pay attention. Because everything else is out of your control. There's always going to be people who are more skilled than you, smarter than you, more beautiful than you, more talented, better connected, younger. There's always going to be people that are going to be better than you in every dimension possible. The one thing that you have control over is showing up. You have to be the person that shows up the most. You have to outcompete everybody else in consistency, because that's the only thing that you have control over. You can be the person who shows up the most. It's up to you, to nobody else. I have met so many people who are so talented and they flunk out of inconsistency. They come one day and then 4 days they're gone, and then they come again, but it falls apart because they just don't. Or maybe they come and they have great ideas and they do things, but then they fail and they fail again and they fail again, and they cannot handle the failure and they decide to quit. They think it says something about themselves, the fact that they're failing, and they don't like it. They don't like seeing themselves fail, so they quit before anything meaningful can develop. So your job is to show up and show up and show up and be so incredibly a pest, You're the pest that shows up. You show up when nobody wants to show up. You show up on New Year's Eve, and you show up every single day, every moment of your life. You show up. That is your job, is to show up. And when you do this, the universe rewards you with opportunities, like this apartment. How did I score this apartment? This apartment is 50% below market value. I talked about it in length in that video. This apartment is 50% below market value, huge, incredible, the most luxurious part of town, and I pay a ridiculous price for it. And how did I get this? I get this after failing 100 billion times. I went to see at least 50 different apartments. I went to see everything available in my city, and I couldn't find anything that I liked. I was about to cry. I was desperate, but I kept refreshing Zillow every single day. I kept calling every realtor. Even for this apartment, the ad felt so sketchy. I was the first person to come see this apartment. That's how I snagged it. And I snagged it because I showed up. Yeah? I showed up. I did my part. I call it the God of errands. He's the one that gives me things. The God of errands. You see, there's people who pray to the God of luck. You know, it's a benevolent God who throws things at your lap. He's very giving. And people pray to that God. And, you know, he's a great God. He gives you things without even trying. I mean, who doesn't like to win like that? Easy wins. I mean, come on. However, this God is inconsistent. This God can give you good things one day and then not show up 15 times. And then you don't have control. But if you like the God of the errands, he's not going to give you anything for free. He's going to make you work your ass off for everything. But if you show up and if you do your part, and if every end is perfectly tied in a pretty neat bun, and you did what you had to do, he will bestow upon you the bounty that you were expecting. It never fails for me. Never fails for me. This is what you see. This YouTube channel now has 5 viewers and a dog. But let's talk about this again in a year. Let's see how we do. Because I truly, truly wholeheartedly believe that the group is going to grow. And every day, someone new is going to stumble upon my YouTube channel and is going to hear these conversations. And they're going to want to be part of this. And they're going to join me, and they're going to continue to join me every single night. And at the end of the year, we'll see where we are. Maybe we'll still be 5 and a dog, or maybe we'll be 50 and a dog, or maybe 500 and a dog, or maybe 5,000, or maybe 5 million. We'll see. I'm just going to continue to show up. So, yeah. And by the way, if you're one of those people who enjoy this and kind of want to see me again, I don't recommend, this is where people will be like, subscribe to my channel, yada, yada, the bell, whatever. But honestly, I subscribe to many channels and I never see them again because the YouTube algorithm just doesn't show the new videos to me. So I don't really put much faith in the YouTube algorithm. Instead, what I'm doing is I am sending out emails to people when I publish something interesting, something new. And that way, I don't have to rely on algorithms. If I post something, you'll be notified because you'll get an email from me. So if you want to join, and if you want to get my emails, and if you reply to them, I'll read it too. If you want to get my emails, you can sign up by going here. Wait. Yeah, there we go. By going here and entering your email in my box. And make sure to confirm it, because otherwise you're not going to get my emails, and it's going to be very sad. So yeah, so put your email, slide your email in my box and confirm it. And then whenever I publish something new, then you and my dog both going to be very happy. See ya.